So now let's assume that you are the person calling for a foundation inspection, and let's say the person that comes to you does have trust, or you've watched the course that we have on the top 5 questions to ask a structural repair contractor. And you've gotten kind of past that. The person has maybe answered those questions well. So now is the time to share and be real honest about the things that are causing anxiety. I don't care if you're buying the house or you own the house, you've been there for 30 years, you just now have just, you're pulling your hair out, you've got so much anxiety about what's going on. So in the first 10 minutes or so after you've established this trust, you need to, as the owner, you need to provide good information about what's going on. You need to show them every crack, every door that doesn't close, every window that doesn't close, every door that opens itself, every diagonal crack in the house, outside, inside, in the basement, every sloping floor that's bothering you. You need to get those things out because those are the things that bother you, and that should help you. So on a foundation inspection, it is so important that you provide good feelings and information about what is going on at the property. Because without that, I don't care how accurate a diagnosis there is from the foundation inspector, if it doesn't address your concerns or your anxiety, then that diagnosis really doesn't mean much. A structural engineer is likely to just give you objective data, which is great from a standpoint of, what you can have on file inside and so forth. But if it doesn't, it's not likely going to deal with the anxiety that you have. So a foundation inspector or a foundation repair contractor that you trust will give you that information. They will take the data and interpret it further. Once the structural engineer or a foundation repair contractor or a foundation inspector, once they have done a thorough inspection and now you're talking about, well, what do we do about this type of thing? That is when the rubber hits the road. And that is when either your anxieties are going to be resolved or satisfied or repaired or not. And so you want to get the scope of work that needs to be done if you think you have foundation issues that will address either the structural integrity of the home or the sloping floors or the issues that you have, even though they may not be jeopardizing that structural integrity. So if this has happened to you, please remember to comment or subscribe, or I'd love to have you interact with us and we can give you more information or join Foundation Repair Academy because there's a ton of information in there. So let's assume now that you've had the interview, you've told them about every little thing that's going on. They've now, whoever it is, has now accumulated that information, and they're going to put it in a form of some sort of recommendation of a course of work. Now, a structural engineer may not do that. The structural engineer may just say, hey, here are my observations. And yeah, you could do this, or yeah, you could do that, or you could monitor it. But usually it doesn't come in the form of something concrete. So remember that when you initially, if you are going to have a structural engineer come out, remember that when you have them put together their letter. Most of the time when a homeowner has a structural engineer come out, the structural engineer will give you a wide variety of what they can offer. They could, for probably the least amount of money, and every time you change this, their costs are going to go up. You could have them just come out and give you some verbal observations about what's going on. That might, if you don't really think you have much going on with the house, that might suffice. That might make you feel better. It might make you, as a buyer, might make you say, okay, well, I am going to make an offer on this house. Or if you're a homeowner and you've been there for 30 years, it might just relax your anxiety. That might be enough.